Okay, well, welcome everybody. I appreciate you guys coming here on your Thursday afternoon for your lunch break or wherever you are. I'm coming at you here from Scottsdale, Arizona, where it is very sunny and very hot, already over 100 degrees. So I'm trying to make it day by day here, as are, I'm sure, all of you. But I wanted to invite you guys to the Zoom call today because I'm really excited. At a time where there's just so much despair and there's so much worry and fear going on, I want to offer, a message of hope. And that message of hope really starts with my story. And so I just want to start there. And then I'm going to introduce someone who's very special to me and has been a mentor in the space for me for the last 2 years. It just celebrated a 2-year anniversary in this company, and really just empowered to share endocannabinoid education with everybody so that we understand why this has become such a big game player in health and wellness and why it changed my life. So, again, my name is Nicole Dijadji. I'm a nurse of 17 years. I'm also a wife and a mother of 2. And basically, get to the kind of meat and potatoes here because I want to get to the juice that we're going to share with you guys. But I found myself very lost and depressed, after my second child, after motherhood. And I think postpartum depression is something that a lot of people don't speak about and a lot of us women suffer with. And so, like most people, I went to a doctor, I got on some prescription pills, and those just kind of started adding up. First it was antidepressants, and then it was the ADD medicine, because I always had some form of kind of ADD in my life, but it really exacerbated after kids. I just felt like the best way I can describe it is like this ping pong ball in my brain was just constantly firing. Like I couldn't stay on task. I couldn't be productive. It kept me in a whirlwind of anxiety. I wasn't sure if the anxiety came before the depression or what followed what, the chicken or the egg. But all I knew is that I just didn't feel right. And after being on these medications for 3 years, and then in the meantime, also adding anti-reflux medications because I was overeating from emotional coping. I found myself overweight and depressed and looking at this medicine cabinet. I also had a bad neck injury when I was younger. I went through the windshield and legitimately have a degenerative disc disease and a reverse curve in my spine. So I was going to the chiropractor, getting these trigger point injections, taking more ibuprofen. I was taking an as needed muscle relaxer as well, which I really wanted to avoid because I didn't like pills really in the first place. Fast forward, I noticed my friend who's taking this hemp supplement, and she's noticeably different. I mean, she's very healthy to begin with, but I noticed the sinus infection she's been dealing with for 9 months is gone, she's saying. Her pain has improved because she had scoliosis. Her mood was different. So I decided to try it. Within days, I noticed my depression just lifting. I noticed my mood stabilized. I noticed a new sense of balance in my brain, that ping pong ball. I was able to streamline better. I was able to not get so excited and anxious like I always have been in my life, as my mother knows, who's on the call. It really helped me improve the productivity and just the headspace, right? And so I decided, and you have to obviously consult with your doctor if you're going to plan to do anything like this. We're not here to, heal, treat, prevent, cure, diagnose anything, but we're here to share with you as testimonials. And, my story is that I just saw this medicine cabinet filling up, and I said, I got to do something about this. I'm 36 years old at the time, and I don't want this in my life. And so I started taking the hemp regularly and noticed a tremendous difference, was able to wean off every medication. And fast forward now 2 years solid to the day I've been in this company, I'm off 4 prescription medications. I ever take ibuprofen even anymore. I don't need it. And I've not only the products really saved and changed my life, but the community of wellness driven people. I don't know where I'd be at today if it wasn't for people like Patty, for people in the company who stood there up on stage and told their stories, and the scientists and the functional medicine doctors. And the people in this wellness community, they have really touched my life and educated me. And that's why I'm here today to share with you, a message of hope that there is huge science behind the endocannabinoid system. It's our master system. And one of our masters here, Miss Patty Yu, who, I said it, this community, I came for the products, but I stayed for the community, right? Like literally, I've been in other network marketing businesses before, tried other products. nothing compared to this. And there's a reason for that. And we're going to dive into that because of the quality of the supplement. But Patty is someone who is very well respected in our community, in our business. She's considered a high-ranking leader in our company. And she's a certified holistic health coach. She's also a gut expert, works on another site with people for that, and an endocannabinoid expert. And she's just taught me so much and really helped change my life and change my headspace and get me to where I need to be, as well as these incredible products. So here I am today to introduce you guys to Patty Yu. She's amazing, and I'm gonna let her take it over from here.
Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah.
And wow, Nicole, I remember meeting you in the very beginning before you started to wean off of your meds, and just witnessing you on this journey. I can't tell you how inspiring that you are and how freaking amazing and badass. And I just love you so much. I adore you. You're so you're committed, you know, like you've been here and just you're paving the way as a leader in the world. Because right now, I believe people are really starting to look at our health collectively and what's going on because of the current terrible situation that is on the planet, right? Absolutely. And, you know, my journey began years ago, and it began with my own health crisis and the fact that I had to correct my own health and fix my own health after it broke down. And by you know, I always had a lot of issues like irritable bowel syndrome growing up, anxiety, panic attacks. I had fainting spells. I would just feel sick often. I remember being on antibiotics a gazillion times. I don't even remember how many. It was just this reoccurring thing every year. You know, you get sick every year, all the time. And then in 2013 was when I thought I was dying. I was so allergic to everything that my body was basically, my immune system was not functioning. It was breaking down. I was in excruciating pain, so fatigued. And I finally realized I had to heal my gut. And I had to do pretty extreme steps to finally get myself better, including really strict elimination diet, where that's how I actually discovered that I was allergic to things like tomato and chickpeas and, you know, even kale. I couldn't eat kale. It was like razor blades, but I couldn't feel it until I took it away and my gut started to heal and I tried to eat it again. Because when you have chronic inflammation, which a lot of people are dealing with today, you're actually numbed out. You can't feel necessarily what's going on. So this is why things can sneak up on us, because of how chronic inflammation works. It doesn't happen overnight. Chronic inflammation doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time, slowly, and it compounds. So, you know, when I found the hemp oil that Nicole is talking about, it wasn't the first time I used a cannabinoid product. It was actually after over a decade of experimenting with all kinds of cannabis products that some helped me cope, but didn't change my body. But when I started to use this particular one, which we'll talk more about why it's so powerful and unique, my spine and my body and all of the things that even diet and lifestyle couldn't fix, which was when I found these products, my spine was still kind of like jammed and felt like it was glued together. Like I couldn't turn my head like that. Literally would get stuck here. And then you know, anything with my neck and spine, moving it, I lived with pain constantly still and stiffness. Couldn't turn my head up without using my hands to pick up my head for 7 years. Like that was my reality for 7 years. And when I started using these cannabinoids that actually get in really fast through the mouth, 10 days in, and my spine was like pop, 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 pop. So, and then over the next few months, it just kept transforming. And so, being that I'd been on this journey, I had to study all of these things. I had to master the GAPS diet. I had to master gut healing as somebody who actually had really, 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 really severe gut damage. So even after all of that, I hadn't understood the endocannabinoid system. So I started studying the endocannabinoid system and started sharing these products as well. And over the last 3.5 years now, began to really understand how much of a missing link this actually is. So that's a little summary of my story and how I came to be here. This became the perfect tool. I'd already been a health coach coaching on gut healing for 7 years. And, you know, I had a lot of people who try products and supplements that I recommend. So I got to see really quickly too what this could do. And now I feel like this is possibly one of the most important discoveries in mankind's history in the last 100 years. And we're generationally deficient. So yeah. I know we have kind of maybe some questions planned. So I'll kind of pass it back over to you.
Yeah, and we can do a Q&A at the end too if people have questions. I'd love to take any questions you guys have if we have time for everyone. But you know, I just basically want to know, you know, from you, Patty, you know, why do you think that this is, you know, how do you believe this is helping people, and why is it so relevant now, you know, with the current crisis that we're facing?
Okay, yeah. So, you know, we're a chronically inflamed society. Mm-hmm. And it didn't begin now, it began a few generations ago. But it's getting worse and worse, and people are getting sicker younger. And if you have seen any of the statistics of preventable disease, you know that it's growing exponentially. And that is the product of inflammation, and it's holistic. So it's also stress and chronic stress, and our ability to manage stress in the modern world is not great. It hasn't been, and especially because we haven't been taking this stuff. So the most important thing to understand is that we have an endocannabinoid system. Every single human being on the planet has an endocannabinoid system. We didn't know this until 30 years ago, right? So we knew cannabis. People love cannabis. We knew that. And we knew it had this stuff in it called THC that got people high. We started to know that. But until 30 years ago, we didn't know we had this actual system called the endocannabinoid system that we call today. And now we have 30 years of research on it. And what the endocannabinoid system is, what they've discovered is actually this master regulating system. A master regulating system that has a hand in every single major system of the human body. Your immune system is regulated by your endocannabinoid system. Your nervous system, which is tied to chronic stress and whether or not you're in a healing state, is regulated by the endocannabinoid system. Digestion is regulated by the endocannabinoid system. Your sleep is regulated by the endocannabinoid system. There really isn't a system that in your body, your detox functions and system is regulated by the endocannabinoid system. Pregnancy, fertility is regulated and supported by the endocannabinoid system, so much that the female uterus has more receptors for CBD than any other organ in the human body. So why do women who start to use our products start to have incredible results? I just posted a testimonial yesterday in my Instagram of a girl who was like, I've never not had debilitating PMS before a period until now. And it was because of the Focus product, which we'll talk about more. But anyway, we have all of these receptors in the body for cannabinoids. And actually we have more receptors in the human body for cannabinoids than any other receptors, any other class of receptors in the human body.
When I found that out, it blew my mind as a nurse. I was just like, what? Exactly. Like, what is this system? We need to be teaching this in medical school. And it doesn't get taught. Yeah.
Because if you are in the medical field and you understand that we have receptors in the body, receptors that medical will try to plug chemicals and drugs into, artificial stuff into, but we have more CBD receptors than any other class of receptors in the human body. Aren't we supposed to be putting the thing in those receptors? And the answer is without a doubt, irrevocably, empirically, yes, like you are supposed to be putting the thing that goes into the receptors into those receptors. There's no receptor in the human body that exists without a purpose, right? So as I was learning all of these things, it was also incredibly mind-blowing to me, and it helped me very quickly realize just the gravity of this. This is not just a trendy thing. This is as important as vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin B. This is an essential nutrient that we are 3 generations deficient, which makes so much sense why we're all jacked up because any nutrient that you become 2 or 3 generations deficient, the body begins to break down. The mind begins to break down. So you look at the vast numbers now of physical and mental, emotional issues that people are dealing with today as if it's normal, right?
Right.
And it's kind of like, things that make you go,
Yeah. And to touch on your point about detox, I think that's so important. That's one thing that really blew my mind and really made sense to me, is that people don't understand necessarily yet that hemp is a really potent detox agent. It directly affects your NRF2 pathway to your liver. I also used to suffer from fatty liver disease, and I've done a liver detox kit and just taking the hemp, and literally went from an ultrasound of fatty liver and labs that showed elevated liver enzymes to no disease on the ultrasound or on my labs. And I know that's for a reason. And I know there's a reason why I feel better. We live in a society where we need to detox, right? It's in our food, it's in our water, in our soil, how we get our food, in our air that we breathe. And so, like you talked about, in this day and age, I mean, we're humans that have evolved through a period and now an age where we're just exposed to a lot of toxic chemicals. We rub them on our body. If you're not aware of it, we put them in our body. And so that also was really important to discuss, I think, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things we cannot control now, but the beautiful thing is we are learning more about what resources we actually have. That is a God-given gift in your own human body. And when your body's functioning properly, you are actually so resilient. Your body can repair itself. It can regenerate. The CBG is a type of cannabinoid. It's called the mother cannabinoid or stem cell cannabinoid. Both of us have experience working with this particular cannabinoid. It's kind of, you're going to hear a lot more about this. This cannabinoid is being shown able to regenerate the brain and regenerate brain cells, which once upon a time, remember, we couldn't create more brain cells. It's like, if you don't kill any brain cells, you don't get them back, right? But actually, if you get CBG into the body, into your brain, into your receptors, it can actually help your body regenerate the brain. And they're proving this. Dr. Chen Ron, the integrative medical doctor who is doing all these brain studies with the same product that Nicole and I are both using and sharing, it, the results are so incredible what it's doing for the brain. And when you see these brain scans, it's really important to also remember those brain scans are a reflection of what it can do for the rest of your body as well. It's not isolated to the brain, that type of result with what you see in the brain.
Yeah, absolutely. We have CB1 receptors, CB2 receptors. The CB1 receptor, CB stands for cannabinoid. If you guys ever look up research and you see anything on CB1 and CB2 receptors, CB1 is the brain and central nervous system. CB2 is generally speaking the periphery and some of the organs. But guys, these receptors are all throughout our body. And as Patty said, you know, it's kind of like a lock and key system. You know, you put the key in, you open the lock, and all of a sudden it's like, huh, okay, everything shifted, you know. And whether it's chronic, you know, inflammation and things like that, lowering inflammation in the body, detoxing the body and the brain. I mean, that's what this product, what this hemp does. It shifts you from that fight or flight sympathetic nervous tone that we're all kind of in when we're living in a state of fear like we are today. And we shift, you know, it shifts us over to that, what's called parasympathetic nervous tone, that more rest and digest phase that we should all kind of, right, be in. We forget to breathe. I forget to breathe sometimes still. And, you know, it allows you to just live in a state of homeostasis and balance. And so, you know, Patty, as you know, I mean, you've tried other products before. I had tried other stuff before. I said no several times before I even started trying this product. So what's so different? I mean, let's talk about what's so different about our products and why they matter. Why there's so many products out there in the CBD world. You know, why do these really make an impactful difference?
Yeah.
I know one big one. That's the blood-brain barrier.
Totally. Well, one of the really important things to realize is just we're in this environment where we're in the green rush, right? Hemp just got deregulated. It's just getting legalized. There are entrepreneurs everywhere, all over the world, in the Middle East, in China, in everywhere, wanting to get into the space of CBD, hemp, and cannabinoid products because it's a huge market. And so there's going to be a lot of different products that flood the market, and you really want to know what you are getting, because if you are dealing with health problems, you do not want to take a crappy cheap product where you're accidentally reintroducing pesticides and mold into your system. Oops, you know, but how would you even know? You wouldn't even know, right? These companies can today, with the internet, with advertising, very quickly make these shotgun sales and sell to a lot of people. There's already been issues in the market where people got fake stuff, got sick with fake CBD products. So you want to be careful. There's a lot of crap out there that are made by people who don't care if it's a good product or not. They just want to make money. So then in the category of companies that actually want to build a long-term global giant brand in the market, right? That's like a company that wants to become a Nordstrom, or a company that wants to become an Herbalife or a doTERRA, right? Or Young Living. Like, we know these brands by name, right? doTERRA has 5.4 million affiliates buying their products and selling and sharing their products today, right now. Okay, so there's going to be a company that is going to be a global brand. There's a small few who will become those recognizable brands. They have to make a really quality product in order to compete and last, right? And even in this category, there's going to be one issue, which is absorption. A lot of these companies are only going to be able to afford to launch a product that is a standard oil-based product that you have to swallow. It has to go down in your stomach. You have to digest it and metabolize it, and you only absorb less than 10% of it if you're lucky. If you have good absorption and digestion even, right? So if you're lucky, you're absorbing, but still under 10%. And this is proven. You take any supplements, any vitamins that you swallow, you absorb around 6 to 7%. That's the scientific fact. We do it anyway, right? Because we need this stuff. So you take a lot and you absorb very little. Usually, that's what people usually do. So when you have something called a liposomal delivery, and when you have a true nano liposomal delivery, you're actually wrapping the CBD. In this case, you can do it with other things like vitamin C, vitamin D, alpha lipoic acid, but in this case, it's with the phytocannabinoids. And you can wrap them up into these little liposomes, which is a fat. It comes from plants, but it's a fat, lipid. And that lipid can actually be shrunk with sound waves, vibration, right? So if you vibrate something that's really high frequency, sonic sound waves, it splits up those little molecules into tiny, 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 tiny little molecules into the smallest size molecules on the market. Sonication to shrink liposomes is brand new, and we're the first company to do this with hemp. First and only company ever to do this with hemp. And so what it does is it creates the smallest liposomes on the market compared to anything, even any other liposomal delivery on the market. And you don't have to have anything bad in it like ethanol, which is what a lot of other liposomal products have to do because that's how they shrink their liposomes. But ethanol is bad for your brain, especially nano. So you don't want that in this type of product, right? And so when you shrink the molecules down to the average size 10 to 20 nanometers, it's completely absorbing in the mucous membrane, in the mouth, in your throat, in your whole esophagus, in the upper GI tract, the top part of your stomach, before any of it ever touches your stomach acids, right? So you're actually absorbing kind of the opposite of when you'd have to take a pill or something in a olive oil or MCT oil base. Those molecules are too big. They cannot absorb through the skin in your mouth. So they have to be metabolized. You lose so much of it. You literally lose it down the toilet. In this case, you're not. You actually get everything, almost just about everything. And it's rapid and it's fast and it's next best to an injection, basically. So we do see really rapid results. I think in other times, people have had to take massive amounts of cannabis in the past to get results, and only if they can handle the THC. Because once you take that much cannabis to get the effects of the CBD, sometimes people can have negative effects of THC. So not everybody can experience it. So now we have a way to give it to people where it's right there, boom, like an injection into your blood. It goes to your brain, it goes to your organs. So
yeah, and it's so small that it like she said, it actually works. And it's the one word differentiating factor is bioavailability. You know, what can your body absorb? And there's so many companies out there selling these. It's people have asked me, you know, thousands and thousands of milligrams of CBD. And like, that's because you're not getting enough to do anything. So you have to take so much more.
yeah.
Okay, so you're taking a really small amount of a product that actually works, you know, greater than 90% absorption and crosses the blood-brain barrier and gives you the effects that you need because the particle size is so small. And not only that, but we're one of the only companies that I've ever heard of that's actually DEA verified THC free. A lot of people are concerned about that with jobs. And then I also get the question, you know, but you need to, you know, there's the other side of it. People want THC free and other people ask, well, don't you need THC? And like, you don't need THC. It's only THC is only one part, you know, one cannabinoid of over 110 in the plant. If you have a broad enough spectrum product like we do with the most CBG in it, by the way, which as Patty mentioned is the mother cannabinoid, the stem cell cannabinoid, along with all the terpenes, which I said we're going to make this short. So next time we're going to do this on terpenes. We'll dive in because there's so many subject areas in cannabis to learn about. It's very interesting. Which are also anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and antibacterial, and they have all these proven effects. I mean, just look on PubMed, there's so many studies out there, but it's fascinating. So you don't need as much of our products, and you're just getting incredible results.
There's a couple other things too.
Yeah.
You know, you want to make sure that everything is organically grown. And, you know, even right now in the market, it's going to be really rare to find a good CBD product that's actually certified organic because the certification process takes years and it just got deregulated. So the only organic farms were doing non-cannabinoid product hemp in the past. So
Totally.
So organically grown to a certain standard, tested for toxins, mold, bacteria. Not all companies test. Not all companies test every batch. they're not required to test every single batch. They're not required, not every company is going to have third-party analysis and certificates of analysis. So you want a company that is very transparent with everything that they're doing and what they are giving you to put into your body. And then another thing that you want to look for is real studies with these products, right? Like, it's one thing to buy something because somebody says it works. It's another thing to buy a product to use when you know that there's actual legitimate data using those products in actual controlled studies. And that's another thing that I love about this company that we're working with, because they are that company that is creating a global brand as the best health product on the planet that you can't get anywhere else. And we really have created that. And therefore, we're studying the products. They're showing brain scans, before and after brain scans, working with the top integrative medical doctors in the country.
Amazing.
So
It's been amazing.
yeah,
Working with the NFL. I mean, they're
yep.
doing brain scans on ex-NFL players that are just bringing guys to literal tears. We've done many calls with Brian Jones, who's an ex-NFL player. He's on CBS Sports Network. Some of you may know his name, but he just said the guys he's seen literally come out of these scans just like in tears because they feel better and they see their brains going from areas of red and yellow damaged brain, CTE injury, this concussive, repeated head hitting injury, to areas of green that are healthy brain. And it's just like bringing these guys to tears. So yeah, incredible information. Thank you so much, Patty. And I want to touch on one more thing. Like you said, I mean, hemp does absorb. It is so important to get things that are organic and non-GMO. And I know we all try to, eat our best and shop our best. And that's why I think organic is so important, because hemp really, really pulls stuff out of the soil, right? It's actually a phytoremediator, so it cleans the soil. And so you really want to be specific on knowing that your hemp is certified, it's organic, it's non-GMO, and as Patty said, it's tested for all these things, because you ingest what you're putting in your body. You think you're doing something good for yourself, and sometimes you can be doing something that's even a little bit detrimental and fighting against, counterintuitive, doing the exact opposite thing that you wanted to do. If there's too many heavy metals in it, or as she said, mycotoxins and pesticides and all these things. So yeah, definitely want to search for a clean product, and we have that here, the best, the cleanest of the cleanest, not only for how we grow it, but how we extract it as well. So yeah.
And just, speaking of the NFL studies and the brain scans, and what they're really revealing is that using CBG, when you can actually get it in the body, into the brain, what it does is it increases neuroplasticity. And when you have increased neuroplasticity, you can handle stress in a different way in your body. You can handle stress without your immune system completely shutting down, for example, right? Right now, we're in a stressful, scary situation, and a lot of people are scared. Well, when you're in that state and you feel like there's a threat, and your body will actually move into a chemical state that is not allowing healing at all. Right? So that is why we can get sick. It makes us much more vulnerable to everything and anything that could be out there. So that's one of the worst things to do, is to be in a state of fear and to have an overactive nervous system. But not everybody knows how to deactivate the nervous system. Plus, we're deficient in endocannabinoids and cannabinoids. So when you actually take cannabinoids, the reason why people get such amazing results is it calms that nervous system, and they can respond to stress in a different way, and the body can still repair itself and fight things when it enters, right? You need to have that ability to fight things when it enters the body. And if you're in chronic stress, you don't fight those things as effectively. So this is how it's relevant to today and where we are right now. And not only that, it reduces a lot of risk factors, and it reduces the inflammatory trigger, which if you're listening to what's happening right now on COVID, they talk about this thing called the cytokine storm. Cytokine storm.
100%.
Everybody's talking about the cytokine storm.
Yes. I'm
Not
glad
new.
you're talking about this. Yep.
It's not like we just learned about the cytokine storm. This is happening to people every day, actually, even before COVID, because of inflammation and toxins, and the body has these inflammatory triggers. So if you want to reduce your trigger happiness, right? Like that's what I call it when I work with clients. I'm like, well, you reach the state where your body's trigger happy. That's where your immune system is, and you're in this inflammatory trigger happy state. If you want to reduce that trigger happy state, working with cannabinoids is one of the best way to do that, and it reduces your risk factors. That's why people get better test results. And like, you're a perfect example, Nicole. Like, you reduced your risk factors, you reversed a diagnosed condition, not making any claims,
Right.
you know. There's other people on this call whose father, you know, really reduced a major risk factor just by taking our hemp extracts. So that's the reason why this is especially valuable right now. So
Absolutely. And the reason why we're doing this, for me especially, and for you, Patty, I know, is that the mainstream media, you know, agenda has just been about fear and transmission, and those are valid things. You know, this virus is real, and it's out there, and unfortunately, I don't know if it's going away. So what we need to do to adapt and move forward, right, is focus on our innate defense system. How can we build up our bodies, the bodies that God, you know, creator of our universe gave us? And how do we, you know, fight against these things and keep ourselves healthy? You know, after being a nurse 17 years, I've just seen so much, and there's so many incredible, you know, there's so many incredible doctors and nurses that I respect and love so much. I'm so proud of being a nurse, but we have gotten so far off track in Western medicine, right? It's just become chasing after doctors and different systems. You know, the systems have all of a sudden become separated, and, you know, we need to get back to understanding our body, what it really takes to build up a good immune system, proper nutrition, supplementation. Hemp is one of those things. Hemp is one of those things that never should have been taken away from us. We were meant to ingest it. It's been around for thousands of years. You know, and we can get into that further on another call, the history and all of that, but it's just fascinating. This has been used in medicine for thousands of years. And as Patty's mentioned many times, we're endocannabinoid deficient. It's time we add this back to our diet, to help our bodies flourish and live the way we're meant to live, to fight off these viruses. Let's start focusing on what happens here and stop worrying so much about the external, right? Focus on the internal and what we can do now today to protect ourselves. So the greatest part about all this, and it really, really is, because the company's never done this before, but we extended a promotion to sign up for $1 right now. So if anybody is listening, they know somebody, you want to sign up, you want to set up your friend, your brother, anyone that's complaining about anything, right? This is helpful for so many things, and I'm happy to answer specific questions, you know, after this. But it's $1. So you sign up for $1, you get the same discounts and promos I do. And the greatest part about this company, there's no minimums, there's no auto ships, there's no gimmicky stuff. You shop when you want, you have your own website. Truly, it's $1. So I just say, what do you have to lose? It's incredible. You're not bogged down by requirements or anything. You just sign up, you have your site and shop. It's fantastic.
And that being said, you know, for those who are looking at this, whether it's product or if you are evaluating it possibly as an opportunity, it is also an incredible industry to get involved with, especially right now, because it's just the very, very beginning of one of the biggest industries I think that we'll have, but it's still such a baby right now. So there's not a lot of opportunities like this for people that don't have a lot of money to start up a business. You know, most people have to have like $500,000, over $1 million to start up a cannabis business. And in this case, for $1, plus you get to use yourself the best products on the planet. And it has so much validation from doctors and everything that are sharing how it's working for you. You don't have to be the doctor and the expert. So it's really wonderful. So if you are looking for an opportunity, definitely reach out to whoever invited you, ask about that too. And we have awesome training and resources for our team.
Yes, tons of resources, tons of help. There's so many people. I just want to end with this. This community really, really kept me around. I mean, the products, of course. Again, I just want to touch on the community. I know so many people in this community who aren't even on my team. It's not even about that. We all help each other. There's so many holistic health providers, functional medicine doctors, chiropractors, holistic dentists. I mean, the list goes on and on. Reiki healers, just people from all walks of life, you know, nurses like myself. And so, you know, it's just you're involved in this community and you can ask the questions and learn the things. I mean, I've been in this 2 years and I figured, oh my God, like 2 years ago, I was like, this is the hottest thing right now. And still 2 years later, I mean, people are slowly starting to learn about it, but this is still, as Patty said, this is in infancy stages. So not only to be learning about this stuff and putting it in your body and living a better life, but incredible business opportunity. And what a time right now when people need extra money, they're not getting their hours, and unfortunately the government isn't stepping through for certain people that really need it. And so this is such a good opportunity. So if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. We're here for you. It's a great community. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Patty.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you so much to
great.
everybody who stayed on with us live and who are watching the recording as well.
For sure. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to do this every week so we can bring more cannabinoid and cannabis education to everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Patty. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.